everybody, welcome back to Siemens Fieldhouse for the second half of the doubleheader. Scott Heinley and Jared Alcander along with you for this evening's matchup. And we're previewing the men's game right now, and BV comes in 8-3 and 2-0 in the Iowa Conference. Dubuque comes in 0-10 and 0-2 in the Iowa Conference. So Dubuque, not a real strong team record-wise, but Ned, they do have the possibility of presenting some problems for BV. Why don't you go into some of the keys for tonight's game?
Well, once you get into Iowa Conference action, I think everything changes a little bit anytime you get into any type of conference setting. What the Dubuque Spartans need to do this evening is play great perimeter defense and prevent the Beavers from making those easy three-point buckets that they've done all season long. The second thing is that they've got to force the shaky perimeter offense for the Beavers as far as turning the ball over and stuff. They've got some young people up front who take care of the ball, so they've got to force them into turnovers. On the other side of the coin, the Beavers, they need to rebound and box out. So far this year, when they win, they box out and they do a super job of getting the boards. The second thing that they probably need to do is they need to prevent those turnovers from taking place. Anytime that you can run the floor well and prevent turnovers from occurring, you're going to have more chances to score. So that's what we're looking for from the Beavers this evening.
That's right, Ned, and as you mentioned, BV has been carried by their defense this year. Coach Van Haften has done an excellent job in his first season taking over for Coach Tim. So we're going to send it right now to a commercial break. Stay tuned. We have an interview with Coach Van Haften as well that I know you're going to like. And you're watching Innovation Video Sports.
Extra, read all about it. You heard right. Subway has 6 mouth-watering sandwiches that are 97% fat-free with fewer than 350 calories. But these sandwiches are 100% filled with fresh baked bread and fresh vegetables such as onions, lettuce, tomatoes, pickles, green peppers, and black olives. A work of art. Let a sandwich artist make you a healthy and fresh sandwich from Subway. 1125 North Lake Avenue, Storm Lake.
Don't you love that safe, free feeling you get in a pickup truck, Larry?
Yeah, nothing but you, me, the open road, a deer.
Yeah! A cow! Yeah! An ostrich! The village people! The village people?
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Especially in pickup trucks.
I didn't know the village people were doing a road tour.
We want to see our children succeed. But setting easy goals for our kids creates the toughest obstacle they'll ever face. Because succeeding in the real world isn't easy. Help the effort to raise standards in America's public schools. Call 1-800-96-PROMISE.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Siemens Fieldhouse. Scott Heinley and Jared Alcander with you for the call of the men's game. As you can see, the BV team warming up. BV comes in tied for the conference lead with Upper Iowa, who comes into town tomorrow night. And tonight, Upper Iowa is at Simpson, Ned, and Simpson, another tough team in the conference. They're 1-1, expected to be real well. So tomorrow night should be a good matchup as well. So teams now go into the locker room.
The Dubuque, even though with their 0-10 record, they have had some close games that they almost won. They lost by 2 points to Viterbo in a game that they probably should have won. And some other close games that they've had. They lost by 4 points to Rosary College on the road. And then they lost by 5 points to St. Ambrose. So they have had some close games and games in which they, with a couple breaks, they could have gone their way. It surely has been a disappointing season for the Spartans thus far. One of the things that they could do to get some momentum is upset the Beavers this evening.
You bet, Ned, and Coach Van Haften, I talked to him earlier in the week, and that's what he has to say in this interview. So let's see that. Hello, everybody. Here we are at a break in the action in the Dubuque game. I'm talking with men's head basketball coach Brian Van Haften. And, Coach, first of all, congratulations on a successful season so far. You come in to the game with a 8-3 record and winning your last 5 straight, so the team looks to be on a roll. Why don't you just recap quickly your last few ball games for us?
Well, I think we had a big win against Dana earlier in the year, and an overtime win that got us to the 500 mark. And we lost to Morningside, but played well and probably built our character a little bit. We competed hard in that game and played well with a team that was probably ranked in the top 20 in Division II. We went down to Daytona Beach and played down there, had a good time down there, and beat Manchester, who is preseason ranked 20th team in the country, and beat them by 2 points, came from behind and won that game. And then we've won our first 2 games in the league, both wins on the road, and so we're pretty pleased with getting any wins that we can get on the road. At the same time, I feel like we've got a long ways to go. I see a lot of improvement that can still be made, and we're just hopefully can get another win tonight.
Okay, as we look ahead to tonight's game against Dubuque, this is a team with not really that strong of a record, but what do you look for in that game?
Well, they lead the league in field goal percentage in the first 2 league games. They shoot 46% from three-point range. We have got to get out into their face and make every three-pointer a tough shot. We got to make them put the ball on the floor and give early help. And I think if we can do that effectively and rebound the ball off the glass and get good shots each and every time down the floor, I think it should be a game that we can win.
Okay, and then looking ahead to Saturday's game against Upper Iowa, there's a possibility, assuming that we and Upper Iowa win on Friday night, that both teams could be coming in to Stevens Fieldhouse undefeated, and that game would then be for the conference lead.
We're excited about that opportunity if we can get this win tonight. They've got a tough game on tonight anyway against Simpson on the road, so that'll be a tough game for them. At the same time, it's one of those games that we've got to be physical in this game. We've got to be more aggressive than they are. We've got to come out and play the type of basketball that championship teams play. And we can't worry about wins and losses. We need to worry more about playing strong defense, rebounding the ball, and like I said a little bit ago, just getting a great shot every trip down the floor and not turning it over. And if we make it a close game, we feel like that we can win the game.
Okay, and then I guess as we look ahead, a lot of people might be kind of surprised that BV is right there in the lead. I don't know. Assuming we lost Evers and Fielmeyer from last year, a couple big play guys in the post for us. What's the rest of the conference thinking right now? Maybe you're giving them a little bit of wake-up call.
Well, that's a good question. I really don't know. Our expectations were to be good this year, and we expect to come out and do the best job that we possibly can. We want to win the conference. I don't know if we can or not. We've got a lot of tough games ahead of us, but we do have experience. We do have guys that can and want to be good players. We are the best team defensively in the league right now. After the first 2 games, we lead the league in defense. We think that can carry us over, and we feel like we can compete with anybody. I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to go out there and we're going to give it everything we got. We may be a surprise, but we're not a surprise to ourselves. I think that's the most important thing. We feel like that we're for real, and we expect to go out and compete and do the things it takes to win every game.
Okay, Coach, and best of luck to you. And again, hopefully we can see a lot of Beaver fans out there in the stands. I know Coach Van Haften and the players would certainly appreciate that.
Thanks a lot, Scott.
You bet, Coach. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. And you saw the interview with Coach Van Haften, and as he mentioned, he's very pleased as to where the Beavers are in the conference right now and how they're performing thus far. As he mentioned, they're on a 5-game winning streak net and hopes to keep that rolling tonight. So we've just been...
Yeah, and the Beavers certainly have been a little bit of a surprise. I think they were predicted to be in the bottom half of the conference in the preseason. The coaches all vote on rankings and stuff like that, and really it doesn't matter. It's just kind of where coaches think that they're going to end up and things like that. a formality that they always go through. And the Beavers were expected to be in the bottom half, and certainly I think they surprised a lot of teams and opened a lot of eyes with the 2-0 start. A chance to make it 3-0, and hopefully by the end of the weekend 4-0.
You bet. Let's look at those conference standings right now. Buena Vista, of course, tied with Upper Iowa for the lead. We're both at 2-0, and Loris has yet to play a game. They've had some weather problems over there. Central 1-1, as well as Luther, Simpson, and William Penn. And Wartburg and Dubuque looking to get off the schneid, if you will. So we're just about ready to get the starting lineups underway. For the University of Dubuque, Richard Pettygrove comes in, leading scorer, averaging 20 points a game. He's the third leading scorer in the conference. So it'll be interesting to see who BV puts on him in order to shut him down.
And those stats certainly are a little bit misconstrued because not a whole lot of games played. Those are just conference action. And so, you could be easily misled there. For Dubuque, it was just 2 games listed. For BV, it was just 1. So
exactly.
Not a whole lot of...
Good point.
Not a whole lot of stock can be taken in those conference standings as of yet.
Okay, we're going to take a look at the starting lineups right now. First of all, for BV, at the guard court start, Brian Schmalbeck is a point guard. Aaron Bloom, shooting guard. The BV forwards look like this. O.J. Freilich, the small forward, and Nick Denlinger at the big forward. And senior center is Jamie Wilson.
And for the University of Dubuque Spartans this evening, they're led by number 24, Preston Treat, who's a 6'2 junior guard. Also, David White, who is a 6-foot junior guard from Sherrard, Illinois. Josh Black is their center. He's only 6 foot. That might be a misprint. He's a freshman from Independence. Not a whole lot of height here from the Dubuque Spartans. Ryan Pentagon is a 6-foot freshman starter. And their last starter is Mark Beanborn, who's a 5'10 junior. So they start 3 juniors and 2 freshmen. Not a lot of experience out there on the floor.
That's right. And as you mentioned, their tallest starter is Preston Treat at 6'2", and their center is a 6-foot center. So I would guess for the University of Dubuque, they would try to move it up tempo a little bit, and so they wouldn't have to work in the half-court set as much. Of course, BV net is not really that tall either. Our tallest people are 6'4".
Indeed, but I don't know. It could be a long night for the Spartans, and let's hope that it is. When you're starting a 6-foot center, you could run into some problems, especially when your goal is to get into an up-tempo game against a team that is very adept at running an up-tempo style of basketball, as BV is.
Unless their 6-foot center has a 50-inch vertical, which is pretty rare to come by.
Looks like we do have some starting changes. It looks like number 40, Maurice Woods, will be the starting center. He's a 6'4" senior. So that could help the chances of Dubuque. Also starting is Casey Grime, who is a 6-foot sophomore.
So the tip is underway, and Dubuque will come up with it. And leading the Spartans, number 12, Mike Beinborn, who we've seen last year. He's a 5'10 junior. Pretty good ball player.
Beavers coming out in a man-to-man defensive set.
The ball swings over to Ryan Pettygo, the leading scorer for the Spartans thus far. Pettygo, and he's just inside the 3-point line, and Jamie Wilson grabs the rebound up to
Once
Schmalbeck.
again, we see the Beavers being strong. Poor pass there.
There's a turnover, and Beinborn, nice look. It's number 25, Casey Grime. And there's the first points of the ball game up. Dubuque leads 2-0.
When you're playing a team that you're expected to win big against, one of the things that you've got to do is come out and set the tone early. And if Dubuque can stay in the game for a while and pick up some confidence, then perhaps that improves their chances of winning the game tenfold.
And Brian Schmalbeck had all day to sit and think about that 3-pointer, and he missed it. And there's Casey Grime with the first 4 points of the game.
Spartans off to a kick 4-0 lead.
The Spartans are coached by head coach Grayling Gordon. There's Jamie Wilson, and Nick Dentlinger will take that shot, but this time he passes up. And nice dish inside to Wilson. So Wilson gets the Beavers on the board.
Nice take by Jamie Wilson, and that's what the Beavers have got to do, is pound it inside. It certainly can help if you can hit those outside shots, but against a team that lacks a lot of height, it's a pretty good idea to try to get it inside. Nice shot by Detlinger. Nice block.
And now the cross, and there's a good job by Beinborn to break up a sure 2 points for Detlinger.
Beavers showing a lot of hustle out, or the Spartans showing a lot of hustle, and they're not just going to lie down and die here.
Freilich inbounds to Detlinger, and the rebound pulled up by Dubuque.
He didn't have a whole lot of numbers there to take that shot, as all the rebounders in the area were all Spartans.
And the ball stolen. Here comes Freilich. And Aaron Bloom can shoot those three-pointers. This time he's short, a little bit off for Bloom. Aaron Bloom, a streak shooter. Just kind of depends. He's either hitting or he's not, so we'll have to see how that works out. Of course, Beavers go man-to-man. There's Pettigo for three. He hits from downtown, so that gives the Spartans a 5-point lead here. Just underway, 17:28 to go in the first half. Scott Heinley and Jared Okander with you.
A little bit of a surprise here right off the beginning. Wilson pulls up from 15, hard off the glass.
Looks like the Spartans gave Wilson that shot.
I think what the Spartans are doing is kind of they're having one man sag off. Jamie Wilson's man is staying inside underneath. So basically it's a man-to-man defense, maybe a box-and-one type of defense or something like that.
Ball inside of Woods. Nice strip from Bloom, but it'll stay on this side of the court. As Bloom stripped it away.
It looks as though Dubuque is going to allow the big man inside for BV to win the game if they can. They just don't want to get beat by the perimeter.
Oh, nice block by Nick Detlinger.
Looked like he was tipped out of bounds by number 30 there, Dave White, but it's going to remain Spartan ball.
I believe that's the second block of the game for Nick already, so.
Shot clock down to 5.
There's Beinborn working against Schmalbach. Now they give to Woods, who takes the 10-footer, no good, and Jamie Wilson on the boards. Schmalbach is ahead to Freilich, who's all alone for the lay-in. That's a beautifully orchestrated fast break there for the Beavers.
And good awareness there by O.J. Freilich. Too many times when you're running the floor, you lose track of where exactly you are, and because you're looking for the pass, and you've also got to keep your eyes up to where the basket is. So a super job of going up with the left hand by Freilich.
You see a double team on Woods, and Aaron Bloom is able to come up with the steal.
Woods having a tough time of keeping the handle on the ball.
Yeah, he is. You're definitely right. There's Nick posting up inside, and able to get the lay-in. So the Beavers now have cut it to 1.
Super post-up job there by Nick Detlinger. He had his man on his back, and all they had to do was get him the ball, and they were able to do that, and he had an easy 5-foot turnaround jumper.
Beinborn called out the play. This is Rich Pettigo with the ball, and it was blocked again.
I think it was by Detlinger once again.
That would be 3 blocks.
Loose ball
for Nick on the game.
Nice job by the Beavers of coming up with it.
The ball is controlled, and OJ trying to put a move on is fouled before the shot. That'll be the first foul.
Pushing foul underneath. I think they're going to call it on number 5, Ryan Pettigon. That's his first team foul. First break in action. 15:30 left to play, first half.
And so you see Coach Gordon with 2 substitutions into the game. It'll be number 33, Brian Trunk, a 6-foot senior. And
Freilich corner.
And he hits the shot. Freilich hits from downtown, and the Beavers have their first lead of the ball game, 9-7. Just underway here.
Freilich shooting 34% on the year from 3-point range. Just moved it up a couple of percentage points on that one.
O.J. Freilich can really light it up from downtown. I've watched him play ever since I was in 5th grade, and when he gets on fire, he's tough to stop. As you see the 3-pointer by Pettigo, and that's 2 3-pointers for Pettigo already.
And Dubuque's going to call a timeout, just a 20-second timeout. I think Coach Gordon was a little confused. I think on the defensive end more than anything else, it looked like. And so they're going to get everything under control here. It was 22nd. 20-second timeout. And so we're going to stay here right back with action. 10-9 the score.
And right now, the 6-foot freshman from Cuba City, Wisconsin, Ryan Pettigo, virtually keeping Dubuque in the ballgame by himself. He's got 8 points, Ned. 8 of the 10 points in the early goings for the Spartans. And it's unusual to see a freshman step up like that and produce, but Pettigo is doing just that.
Well, it looks like the Beavers are a little bit sleepy right now, and it looks almost as though they're not ready for. They don't have their game faces on. Maybe they can turn it on after now.
Good baseline jump shot by Aaron Bloom, which gives BV a 1-point lead.
Nice ball movement there by the Beavers. All you got to do is move the ball around and find it, get it to the open man. That's exactly what they did. Bloom had the easy 15-foot jumper.
Yeah, you see BV with that tough man-to-man. Brian Schmalbeck is applying a token one-man press on that last basket. There's a good trap by Freilich and Schmalley. Dubuque having trouble. Brian Schmalbeck comes up with it. We'll see what we got. It's a 2-on-1 and a nice pass to Nick Dellinger. Give the assist to Brian Schmalbeck.
Hoping maybe we'd see a dunk there, but no dice. And I think the biggest thing about the Beaver defense is that they play team defense. They help each other. If you notice, all of them have their foot in the lane if the ball's, on the other side, so that they can help out. They obviously see there. You see Brian Schmalbeck, Nick Detlinger switch.
And Mike Beinborn no good, but nice rebound by Preston Treat. Back out to Beinborn, who fakes it, now driving inside. I believe Jamie Wilson got a hand on that. So Wilson gets out.
By number 12, Mark Beinborn. His first personal. Coming in, Matt Jansen and Brad Douglas for the Beavers. Detlinger and Freilich will sit down. Douglas on the last game was the leading scorer for the Beavers at 18 points, including 5 3-point buckets. So certainly the Spartans can't afford to let him sit out there all day.
Jansen with the fake, no good. And Odie over to Wilson baseline, who hits the jump shot, giving the Beavers a 5-point lead.
Beavers quickly erasing that deficit, and that's what you've got to do against a team like the Spartans here, who have a defeated season thus far.
Spartans working inside of Woods. Cross-court pass to Pettigo. Pettigo for 3, no good. That's, I think, the first one he's missed so far. I think he's 3 for 4 from the 3-point line. And there's a travel by Bloom. He was going to pass it to Schmalbeck and then decided not to. And in the course of doing that, he walked with the ball.
I don't think Schmalbeck was particularly looking for the ball. Also, his man had him defended a little bit. Tough break there for the Beavers. Beavers don't change their defense a whole lot. They like to stick with that man-to-man defense.
And it's the same philosophy that Van Hampton uses, that Coach Ed Tim used last year as well. So not too much of a transition for the players to make from one year to the next. And there's a nice offensive board by Casey Grime. So it's a 3-point game.
The Spartans are scrappy, and they're going to hang in here. Bjorkgren in the game now. Schmalbeck takes a breather.
Matt Jansen gets it down low.
Wide open.
And Jamie Wilson, that's 2 in a row he's hit from the baseline shot for Jamie Wilson.
And a nice look there by Jansen, as Wilson was just wide open on the baseline. Jamie Wilson averages about 5.5 points a game. Already with 4, doesn't he? 4 or 6.
Dubuque's working at perimeter right now. Trying to get inside, but BB's doing a good job at denying the ball. There's Woods with the fake. And gets the basket and the foul, so he'll be going to the free throw line. I believe the foul on Brad Douglas.
No, that's going to be on
Jeff Wilson, excuse me.
No, he just came into the game. Jeff Wilson did. It's going to be on Jamie Wilson.
Yeah, Jamie. Okay. That's what I meant.
2 Wilsons in the game now, so we got a little confused there. That's only the first foul for the Beavers in the half.
It's the first time either team has been to the line this year. This game. Wilson with the rebound.
Jeff Wilson.
And Bjorken takes over the point guard duties for Brian Schmalbeck. Matt Jansen, nice dish inside to Bloom, but Bloom caught his own pass, and you can't do that. That's walking.
Well, I think Bloom got bumped a little bit and lost handle of the ball. No foul called, and so he passed it to himself, kind of. And you're right, you really can't do that.
Dubuque looks inside to Woods once again, and Woods picked up his pivot foot. You bet. Right on the call is referee Bob Sandquist with that call.
Probably not as high of a scoring as the game as we would have liked to have seen so far in the game. I think we anticipated a little more scoring from both teams, a little more up-tempo. It hasn't really been up-tempo. They've kind of been feeling each other out like a couple of heavyweights.
Yep. For both teams, Dubuque has 4 turnovers, BV has 3, so a little bit sloppy in the early goings. As you see another turnover by BV, over and back is the call.
That was a poor call because it was knocked away.
Yeah, BV touched it. You're right on top of that one, Ned.
Well, no, the Dubuque knocked it away. Grimm hit it about out. We got a 20-second timeout being called. So we're going to keep it here. And not as much scoring as we would have liked to see. 17-14 only. 11:06 left to play, first half.
And the next telecast by Innovation Video Sports will be tomorrow night when the Buena Vista basketball teams play Upper Iowa University in another conference doubleheader. The women start things off at 6 and the men tip off at 8 o'clock. Live coverage from Siebens Fieldhouse starts with the pregame show at 5:55. Stay tuned for Innovation Video all year long for live coverage of Buena Vista sporting events. Dubuque gets the inbounds. This is Feinborn.
There you see the Beavers with their trapping D. What they like to do is play a tough man-to-man defense. And when a dribbler comes their way, they like to trap them to see if they can force a turnover that way.
Woods over to Preston Treat. Preston will take the three-point shot. No good. Just short.
Nice hustle. It looked like both Douglas and Bloom going after that loose ball. It looked like they slipped. There might be a slick spot over there.
Okay, and another stat from our stat man, Sean Erickson. BV's shooting 77%, 7 out of 9 from the field goals.
Beavers have gotten a lot of layups and 15-foot jumpers, and most the shots that they have a tendency of missing so far have been those three-point buckets.
Oh, good look from Feinborn inside at Grime, but his shot was blocked once again. As you can really see the inside dominance of BV, but you can see the height differential paying off, and I think that's 4 or 5 block shots we've seen already.
Detlinger with his third already here in the first half. Unable to pull down the rebound. It looked like it got stuck on the padding there underneath the backboard. Nice lob pass inside.
Woods turns inside. That time he gets it to fall. Good move by Woods, Maurice Woods.
1-point basketball game here.
And Jeff Wilson pulls up from 15 feet, drains the basket, and count it. We have a foul away from the ball.
We're going to have a foul on number 24 against Dubuque. It's going to be on Preston Treat. A pushing foul underneath. I think Matt Jansen had position, and Treat didn't want to give up that position and pushed him out of the way. So the Beavers are going to get the ball back because of that foul.
Douglas,
it does count.
Douglas inbounds and gets it into Bjorken. Bjorken calling out the play. Trying to find the cutter inside. And Jeff Wilson walked with the ball. It's another turnover for BV.
Dubuque playing aggressive perimeter defense out there, like we said that they'd probably have to do. They're pressuring the guards, and then we're going to take it down to Stacy Mraz, who has a sideline report for us. Stacy, take it away.
All right, Coach Van Haften had an interesting thing happen to him before the game started. President Fred Moore came up to him and wished him luck and told him that he had been having a tremendous season. President Moore was very proud of him, and he also told Coach Van Haften not to put any pressure on himself. So Coach Van Haften has had a very interesting game, and it had a very nice start. One of the things that he's going to focus on, though, is Dubuque has a very talented freshman playing out there. He's number 5, so keep an eye on him. Back to you, Scott and Ed.
Well, that's right, Stacy. Ryan Pettigo already has 8 points in the game for Dubuque. That's 50% of Dubuque's offense. And definitely the freshman from Wisconsin stepping up big so far. Jeff Wilson stole the ball, but I believe his foot was on the out-of-bounds line. Well, maybe not. BV's going to get it back.
I don't know what that call was.
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
I think that maybe what happened is that the guy who was passing the ball was over the out-of-bounds line is what happened. And so it was like it never even happened.
Odie inside, and Jeff Wilson having trouble getting the handle on the ball. We'll keep it toward BV.
But as we were talking about, Ryan Pettigone has done a super job, and not only is he their leading scorer and things like that, but he's also the field general. He takes control, which you don't often see from a freshman.
Cross-court pass to Nick Dentlinger. He'll take that shot. No good, just long. Pettigone with the rebound. And Dubuque doesn't have numbers, so they'll slow it up.
Dentlinger has been slowed by injuries often in his BV career so far.
That's right.
But he likes to shoot the ball from downtown.
I believe one time in playing for Carroll Kemper in high school, he shot 23 pointers in one game. And that's a 6'4" kid in high school shooting 23 pointers. Kind of unusual. As we have a foul on the floor.
Right now, the Beavers are just getting out-hustled to the ball. On all those loose balls, Dubuque's just getting after it.
You take a look at over the sidelines, Coach Van Hampton threw his suit coat down in disgust. He's not too happy about this foul situation. And BB kind of sluggish to begin with, I think.
That's a perfect word to describe him right now. I don't know if perhaps it's kind of the interim doldrums or what the case is, but they certainly aren't coming out very sharp and very fresh.
So the first free throw by Grime is good.
2-point lead only for the Beavers. 1-point lead. Interesting there, Dubuque had no rebounders, so they must have assumed that Grime was going to make both those free throws, and that he did.
Bjorken inside to Matt Jansen. Really good defense right now by Dubuque, swarming D. Jansen no good. Nice tip in by O.J. Freilich, who just entered into the game. O.J., good job on the boards.
One of the things there about Dubuque is they doubled the guy with the ball. And when you double the guy with the ball, you've got to make sure that you've got other people to box out. On that time, O.J. Freilich came running through the lane and was able to tip that in because of the double team. He was left wide open at a shot for the tip in.
So heads up thinking by O.J. The three-pointer no good by White. BV's going to run with it. Here's Dentlinger off to Freilich. Tries a reverse layup. No good. Saves it to his own teammate Dentlinger. And Nick is hammered underneath. He'll be on the line shooting two.
It looked like Freilich may have gotten hit on the arm. Nothing called there on the reverse layup. Looked like he may have been able also to give it up to somebody else inside. But the Beavers are, with their hustle, that time they really got after it. And Freilich was able to save it into Dentlinger. Dentlinger picks up the foul. And Dentlinger will go to the line to shoot a pair. Dentlinger on the season, 17 for 27, 63% free throw shooter.
And Nick misses the first shot.
Dentlinger had some knee troubles when he first came in. Appears to be over.
Yeah, he's been hampered. As you mentioned, he's been hampered by injuries throughout. Kind of unfortunate because Nick has a great potential as a ball player. There's no doubt about that. As you see the pressure by BV, there's a trap. And the steal by Freilich. Not quite. Now OJ comes up with it. So persistence pays off. Wilson behind the back to Nick Dentlinger for the lay-in. And the crowd likes that one.
And the Beavers out of the free throw with a 1-2-1-1 trapping full court defense. Kind of caught the Dubuque Spartans sleeping a little bit. They were able to break the press, but then the secondary press kind of got to them as they lost track of where everybody was. Nice job by Freilich. He's got quick hands. That's the best thing about Freilich. That's the second time in a row down the court he's been able to slap at the ball and knock it away.
O.J. Freilich, one of the team's best defenders on the perimeter, as BV opens up a 6-point lead, 24-18, 7 minutes, 25 seconds to go. First half action. Scott Heinley and Jared Okander with you.
Freilich second on the team in steals. There's an assist by Freilich.
Nice recognition to find Nick Dentlinger underneath.
the best thing about that is that he was able to. It was a great cut by Detlinger, and also Freilich was aware enough to see him under the basket wide open.
9 points for Nick Detlinger in the first half.
And really, they've been pretty easy buckets.
Yes. And
I don't think Grimm thought he could touch the ball, but no travel called.
Preston Treat out on the perimeter. Finds Beinborn. He's driving baseline left underneath, and he draws a foul. And it's going to be on, I think, Brian Schmalbeck.
It's going to be on Jeff Wilson.
Okay.
That's going to be his second foul, and he'll go to the bench.
Brian Fisher checks into the ball game. His first action so far.
One of the things here that we see Dubuque doing is that they're moving their entire team, other than their shooter, down the court. Must be assuming that their free throw shooter Beanborn is going to make the free throw. Well, they also want to make sure they don't give up any cheap transition buckets.
Well, Ned, he was 100% before he missed that shot in the conference.
Well,
so now he's 5 for 6 now from the line. Detlinger with the ball on top. Left-hand drive, and he's going to get the charge. Good defense by number 25. That's Casey Grime, excuse me.
And anytime that you penetrate, you've got to make sure that you're going in under control. Because anytime that you're not under control, the referees have a greater tendency to call the charge, even whether or not it is a charge or not. But, they're just going to call it more often than not. Dubuque staying with the Beavers. Kind of a surprising game here so far.
Yeah, we didn't expect it to be like this. I looked over the sidelines. I think Coach Van Hatten's a little bit upset at that call, Ned.
Dan Carr comes in for the first time for the Spartans as the freshman Pentagon will leave for a breather.
The ball goes inside of Woods, and Nick Detlinger gets the steal, so here comes BV. They're going to go up tempo. Schmalbeck over to Nick Detlinger for the three, and he's way off the mark. And that's stolen away again by Nick Detlinger. Inside to Detlinger, he's got the 2-point shot. That's 11 points for Nick. And BV is now 12 for 15 from the field goal percentage, Ned. That's a phenomenal percentage.
And you just saw Nick Detlinger with his quick hands was able to slap the ball out of the hands of the Spartans twice in a row down the court there. Able to get an easy bucket in transition.
White on the baseline. They lose the ball again. That's the third turnover in a row for Dubuque Spartans. And here's Brian Schmalbeck putting a little juke move on. Inside to Fisher, who spins left and gets the lay-in. First 2 points of the game for Fisher off the bench.
And that's what the Beavers have got to do, is keep pounding it inside. Anytime that one of the post players gets it into the block, they're not going to be able to be stopped by the shorter Dubuque Spartans.
That's right. Dubuque wants to talk it over. Coach Gordon calls timeout. So it's a 10-point lead, 30-20 with 5:13 to go in the first half.
Tune in to Innovation Cinema every night on cable channel 13 from 7 to 11 for great movies ranging from your favorite classics to great new releases. Movies showing in January include Twister, Tin Cup, 12 Monkeys, Up Close and Personal, The Nutty Professor, The American President, Muppet Treasure Island, Citizen Kane, The Rock, Candyman, Silence of the Lambs, and Mr. Holland's Opus. A lot of great movies in there, Scott.
Oh, you bet. I have to check some of those out. I know. And right now, we're going to go down to Stacy Mraz, who's got a sideline report for us. Stacy.
One of the differences between these two teams is experience. Now, Coach Van Haften may not think so, considering he's a first-year head coach for the Buena Vista Beavers. But for Dubuque, only number 12, Mark Beinborn, has come back from their team. Buena Vista has starters Nick Detlinger, Aaron Bloom, and Brian Schmalbeck back for their team, not considering all the sophomores that came back for Buena Vista that had already had a lot of playing time from last year. So this game kind of brings up a little inexperience against experience. So back to you, Scott and Ed.
Thanks for that bit of info. Stacy, back to action here. Siemens Fieldhouse.
Okay, as you see, tough D again by the Beavers. It just never stops. And there's the freshman Pettigo for 3 this time. He's off. Wilson rebounds, and Schmalley's up ahead. A little bit out of control here. Aaron Bloom's back in the ballgame for the Beavers. O.J. Freilich baseline right. Schmalbeck puts up the shot, and no good.
Good defense there by Dave White. He forced Schmalbeck to change his shot in the air, and he had to throw up kind of a one-handed, off-balance shot. Not a very high percentage shot there for Schmalbeck.
Feinborn trying to drive, but tough D by Brian Schmalbeck. Cross-court pass to Casey Grime. David White is picked off by Schmalbeck. And Freilich couldn't find the handle on that pass.
Just passed it too low.
Yeah.
Passed it down by his ankles. I think he anticipated it come off the floor a little harder on the bounce pass. Didn't quite do so. What you see the Beavers doing is run a transition break called secondary break that was started by Paul Westphal of Loyola Marymount back when they had Bo Kimball and Hank Gathers. And they made their NCAA tournament run. That's when it started to become popular. Foul called on number 25, Aaron Bloom.
That's a 15 foul for BV. Matt Jansen will check into the game for Brian Fisher.
It's only the first foul on Bloom. Really, not a whole lot of fouls here in the first half for either team.
It looks like
the clock's been moving. A lot of turnovers though. A little bit sloppy on both sides.
Looks like Dubuque maybe trying to take some time off the clock here. And we have a foul away from the ball. BB's going to get it back.
Going to be on number 40, Maurice Woods. He set a kind of a moving pick, it looked like, inside. And that's an obvious foul. So I think that's going to be his. Let's see, he's talking to the head coach of Dubuque. It looks like he hooked him. I think he hooked him on the inside. He was trying to seal him on the inside, and he just hooked his elbow. An obvious foul.
Brian Schmalbeck driving right. Bloom underneath, outside to Jansen. Banks it off the glass.
With the kiss off the glass. And what the offense that you saw kind of from the Beavers there was kind of a backdoor, back pick type of offense. Maybe one that you'd see from a team like the Princeton Tigers.
Feinborn likes to dribble with the ball. I'm not sure if that accomplishes a whole lot, but
well, I think they're trying
this Dubuque team tries. They don't pass it. They don't have real good ball movement, which is probably the reason why they're 0-10. No, nice scoop shot. Wow, that'll go on Preston Treat's highlight reel.
Well, Preston Treat got around his man. He had a quick first step. And once you get around your man, the only thing you got to worry about is the help side defense. And there wasn't any help side D, so he was in the clear to shoot that scoop layup.
BB having trouble hanging on to the ball here. O.J. Freilich. Cross-court pass to Wilson, whose baseline shot way off. We got a foul.
Matt Jansen.
Yep.
He just kind of shoved Preston Treat down in the middle of the lane. They were both going for the rebound.
BV up by 10 with 2:30 to go, but I get the feeling that we're not playing as sharp as we want to right now.
And they're not putting them away right now. Dubuque's still in the game. Not even close to being out of it. A couple of baskets here and there, and they're right back in it. Only two. There you see the clock. Under 2:20 left to play first half.
BB still not man-to-man. There's the trap. They kick it outside to their freshman. No good for Pettigo. Aaron Bloom ahead with it to Freilich left side. Driving baseline. And there's going to be a foul before the shots.
We're going to call a hand check there. Kind of a little bit of a cheap foul, but that it has been a point of emphasis now for the last couple of years. It's going to be on Ryan Pettigon. And I believe that's his second or third foul. And if the Beavers could get him into foul trouble, that certainly would aid in their attempts to pull out a victory here this evening.
Did you see that? O.J. Freilich has that quick first step. There's nothing Pettigon could do. O.J. was around him.
It's only the second foul on Pettigon.
Bloom inbounds to Bjorken. Back to Bloom for the... Bloom decides not to take the three. Matt Jansen pulls up. No good. Jansen's been off so far.
Oh, Douglas is open. They could only get it to him.
Aaron Bloom, man, that shot was deflected. 1 minute 40 to go. BV up by 10. Here's a chance for Dubuque to cut it down to single digits, and I would think Coach Grayling Gordon has got to be feeling pretty good. BB shooting around 75% in the first half and only up by 10 points. It's not a bad situation to be in.
And any time that your team is 0-10 and you don't have a whole lot of confidence, the closer you can keep it, for as far as time, the better chance you have of gaining more confidence and pulling out the W. Shot clock down to 3.
And that's travel by Woods. He packed his bags, and that's about 4. I think Woods has traveled, around 4 times already in the first half.
What you saw there was a 1-4 set called Victory that I know the Nebraska Cornhuskers play. That's a play that they have. When the shot clock gets down under 10, they'll set that up and get it in the hands of the point guard, and his job is to penetrate and dish, or to penetrate and take it all the way in. Another hand-checking call is going to be called on number 24, Preston Treat.
Boy, we're seeing some real tough man-to-man defense going on right now, Ned.
And you got to hand it to Dubuque. I mean, they're playing really intense basketball right now, and just clawing and getting everything that they possibly can right now.
They're not intimidated by this BV squad, that's for sure. Even though they come in with an 0-10 record.
Brad Douglas goes to the line. He'll be shooting a 1-1 so far on the year. He's shooting 60%. 12 for 20. You make that 13 for 21. Nothing but the bottom of the net. Under a minute left to play halftime. Stay tuned for halftime.
Yes, we'll be having an interview with Coach Al Baxter, wrestling coach at BV.
Here we see that 1-2-1-1 press that the Beavers like to run out of their free throws.
But Dubuque does a pretty good job of handling it that time. They're going to set up they're going to run the shot clock down here, but they still have to shoot it because there's about a 22-second differential right now on the shot clock and game clock. Feinborn passes over to 24, Treat, and he is fouled.
Kind of an interesting offense. They've got the offense set for Pentagon. They set a double pick out the high post. First they set a pick down low for Pentagon, and he comes off the double pick up high to try to hit that three-pointer at the top of the perimeter. Basically, they're always trying to get the freshman the ball. Treat goes to the line, shooting a 1-1.
He's an 80% shooter in the conference this year.
And Dubuque, it looks like every time they're going to clear their people out.
That's exactly
right. And just play defense at the other end. Pentagon leaves the game. They probably don't want to let him pick up another cheap foul. They're going to get a lot of their starters out, it looks like.
Or else they might do situation substitution if they get the ball back and put him back in for a 3. I like the strategy by Coach Gordon, though, dropping all 5 players back and knowing that BV likes to run up tempo, not giving away the easy, cheap layup.
Shot clock, not a factor. 20 seconds left to play in the half.
BV just trying to go for one shot here, but real tough man-to-man defense by Dubuque.
12 seconds.
And here's Bjork, and he sets up the play.
The left-hander.
8 seconds to play. BV better get into their offense. 5 seconds. Bjorken finds Bloom at baseline. Got it! Aaron Bloom, as time expires at halftime. Aaron Bloom hits a baseline shot, and it gives BV a 13-point lead.
Well, that last play was kind of indicative of the way the half has gone for BV. It's not real pretty, but it gets the job done, as they're going to go into the locker room with a 13-point lead. Coach Van Haften, can't be real pleased with a 13-point lead, but then again, what else can you do?
And as Coach Gordon leaves the floor, he's having some words with the refs. I don't know what that's about. But anyway, we are going to go to commercial break. We'll be back. You're watching Innovation Video Sports.
Drown your campfires with water. Then stir and drown again.
We count on you to do what Smokey says.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
In America, you are not required to offer food to the hungry or shelter to the homeless. There is no ordinance forcing you to visit the lonely. In fact, nowhere in the Constitution does it say you have to provide anything for anybody. Thank you for all you've given. Imagine what more could do.
Sally wants to be a surgeon someday. Maybe she'll operate on you. Now, would you like a free booklet of simple ways you can help improve her education? Call 1-800-96-PROMISE.
Hello and welcome back to Stevens Fieldhouse. Scott Heinley and Jared Okander with you. It's a 13-point ball game at the half, and Dubuque did a good job of staying in it despite just lights out shooting by the Beavers.
We got quite a halftime show lined up here. I think we're going to have the drill team, but first we're going to have Al Baxter. Whoa, we're going to have the drill team right now. So let's just keep it right here and show the BV drill team.
Okay, to see the drill team, we're going to go to an interview with Al Baxter, taped earlier in the week. The wrestling team has a meet this weekend. We'll see what Coach Baxter has to say.
All right, welcome to halftime. Right now I have Coach Al Baxter, the wrestling coach for Buena Vista here. He's going to give us a little overview of what's been going on for the wrestlers this year and what hopefully will happen at Nationals. And welcome, Al.
Thank you.
I'm very happy to have you here again for our second interview. Now, I went to the Northwestern wrestling meet, and it was just a total blowout. And I noticed that you really have a lot of depth because a lot of your wrestlers were sick with the flu or injured. And you were saying that you have a great number of freshmen on the team. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, against Northwestern, we did have, I guess we had 4 varsity guys for one reason or another were not wrestling, and a couple of them were having a very tough time making weight and that kind of things. That's tough for them not to be in there to get that experience, but also it's great for the younger guys to get in there, the backups, and they've really been coming through tough. Northwestern has improved tremendously since in the last year or two, and so I was proud of our guys. Right now we've got a couple weights that we're having trouble filling. We are very fortunate. We've got 3 freshmen that transferred in here. 2 of them were going to UNI, Chris Rathbone and Aaron Shellhorn. And then we have Josh Martins, who was in the Marine Reserves, I guess you call it. And all 3 of those guys graduated from high school last year. So those 3 are on our team right now. And Chris Rathbone is kind of thinking 167 would be best for him. And then Josh Martins is at 177. And Aaron Shellhorn is kind of between 177 and 190. But the other freshmen right now, we have Rick Schweisberger starting for us at 126. And then Savon Cole is starting for us at 167. Savon was out for a while with an injured shoulder, separated shoulder. We really missed him on the Florida trip. We went down there, and I was just very proud of our guys. We wrestled 6 dual meets down there in Florida and won 3, lost 3. The 3 matches we lost were to the 5th ranked, 6th ranked, and 8th ranked teams in the nation by a combined total of 11 points. And we've had to forfeit 177. And we had junior varsity guys at 158 moving up, wrestling varsity 167 for us. So we lost 20-18 to Springfield College out of Massachusetts, 20-17 to Mount Union College out of Ohio, and 24-18 to John Carroll University out of Cleveland, Ohio. So I'm really proud of the guys at this stage of the season. We've got a kind of a blend of upperclassmen, and goes right on down. We got a little bit of seniors, juniors, sophomores, freshmen in the lineup, which is kind of good to have.
Okay, now we were talking about seniors there for a little bit. Have the seniors really been showing a lot of leadership this year?
Yeah, I'll tell you, we've got some tremendous seniors, and for a person to hang in there for 4 years in a grueling sport like wrestling, the hard practices, all the traveling and that kind of thing, I just can't say enough good things about our seniors. Matt Kruger right now is just having a tremendous year. Matt Kruger certainly has the ability to be right in the top of the nation if everything works out, but he's having a great year. Clint Kudum has been kind of going up, roller coaster ride a little bit, and right now he's on a high. He's looking great down in Florida. He started off a little tough, has some bad luck, and came on one of his last 3 matches and against Northwestern, beat a real good wrestler from Northwestern. The guy from Northwestern had wrestled Division I for a year or 2, then transferred into Northwestern. So Clint handled him 5-0 or something, and then, of course, Mike Saffras. I mean, I could talk for 3 hours about Mike Saffras, too. the guy will do anything for the team. You know, he'll wrestle 58, 67, 77. He'd probably wrestle 190 if we ask him to. You know, and 75% of the time he usually comes through with a win, one way or the other. But and we've got Chad Tunick, of course, at 126 is where Chad was an All-American as a junior and had to sit out last year, and this is his 5th year. And had total reconstruction of his knee, and it's been bothering him. It's really kind of hampered him in making weight. He works so hard in the off season, you know, he's so dedicated and committed that he actually gained 10 to 12 pounds of muscle. And now he's having a tough time getting down to 126. So that's really hampered him, and we're going to see if he can get that adjusted before the conference meet.
All right, now conference is always such a big deal. I mean, I know nationals are at the end of the season, but conference, it means a lot to the wrestlers. What can you tell us about maybe the top 3 teams in the conference this year? Is BV one of them?
Wartburg College is in a class of their own right now. You know, anything can happen, but I mean, they're looking tough, and they've got depth 3 deep. And the thing is, it's a battle for second place between Buena Vista, Simpson, and Loras College, I'd say right now. And so that's what we're vying for, realistically, fighting hard to get second. And with some luck, you know, we could maybe get first.
All right, can you tell us when the next wrestling meet, maybe at home, is for the wrestlers?
Well, we have on February 1st, we have the Iowa Conference dual meet tournament. We'll have 4 dual meets, possibly 5, because we got snowed out of a blizzard, kept us from going last week to Luther. So we're hoping to get 5 dual meets in on February 1st. On February 8th, we have the BV duels. We have 9 other teams besides Buena Vista coming in here, and so we'll get hopefully at least 6 dual meets in then. So the wrestling fans can come and cheer us on. We really appreciate their support, and the student body here is always back to the wrestlers, and we've got some guys really working hard, and it's fun to work with these guys, and they're doing everything I ask as a coach. And Jay Huff, I've got the best assistant you could ever have, and it's been a very exciting year, and we just hope that we can reach our peak at the conference and the national tournament.
All right, well, good luck this season.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure you'll do great, and I hope the weather holds up for you.
Yes,
Thanks a lot for coming.
Hey, we're back at Stevens Fieldhouse, and Scott Heinley has an interview with Janet Berry, the head women's coach, after their big win this evening. Scott, take it away.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Stevens Fieldhouse. We're at halftime of the men's game, talking with women's coach Janet Berry. First of all, Coach, congratulations on a great win, great conference win against Dubuque. Michelle Brazda was one of the people that comes to mind when she's coming off a all-conference award on her last week, and maybe she might get it again this week, the way their performance, 17 points and 12 boards. You had 4 players in double figures, Coach. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, our kids coming into this game tonight, Dubuque had the best non-conference record in the league, and I told our kids, and we wanted to send a message that, you know, not on our watch. That's what we kind of said. Nobody's going to sneak attack us, and we were going to get the job done tonight. And we came out and we led 11-0 right from the beginning, and then, then Michelle Brazda did come in and just, she got the ball in the blocks and she scored it. And that's the best Michelle's done on the boards this year. 12 boards was a career high for her at BB. Abby Rowe also came off the bench and gave us 12 points in only 13 minutes and played everybody tonight. So nobody got a whole lot of minutes, which is nice on a Friday night to rest your starters a little bit. And we shot 75% from the free throw line, and that's always a plus. And they played a zone the whole entire game. I kept thinking they were going to come out and man against us. So we shot 24 three-pointers, which is the most we've attempted all year, and we made 8 of them. So we shot 33%, which is like shooting 50% for the twos. I would have liked to seen a few more of those go down, but you can't have everything.
And Ashley had that one bank in, I think, to start off the game. I'm sure she didn't want that, but she'll take it. And also, Coach, he held them to 29% shooting. It's just a great job defensively.
Yeah, I thought defensively we just put a hand in their face. We contested every single shot. Their post players pinned us a couple times, but overall, we were just a little bit bigger than they were, and we just put a hand in their face, and And the rebounds, the rebounding margin, we just killed them on the boards. They only got 2 offensive boards, and I think we out-rebounded them by almost...
it was 17-point differential in the first half.
I think it was overall like almost 31 for the game, which is absolutely incredible. But that was another thing we focused at the beginning of the game. They were going to get 1 shot, if anything. And I guess I'd just like to encourage people to come out tomorrow night. We go at it again tomorrow, starting at 6 o'clock. Our kids are, playing some good basketball. We're leading the nation in scoring right now. We're really fun to watch. We got our average tonight with 91 points. We were very happy about that. Our young kids came in at the end, and we had freshmen hit 3 3-pointers right down the stretch, and we're fun to watch, and so I hope people will come out and see us play.
Okay, well, congratulations, Coach, and thanks for...
Thank you.
And now we'll go back upstairs to Jared Aukander.
Okay, thank you, Scott, and he was there with Coach Janet Berry, who has her team off to a 3-0 start. We're going to go to highlights of the first half of the men's game now. We're going to see how things went for the Beavers. Here you see them warming up before the game. And here you see how dominant the men have been on the boards. And the thing that the Beavers are the best at is transition, as Freilich hits a layup. Bloom passes inside to Detlinger, who's able to knock it in off the glass. Detlinger had a super first half, double digits in the first half. Detlinger finds Bloom. Great ball movement there by the Beavers. They're just moving the ball around. Here you see Schmalbach with the steal and the dish to Detlinger. Brad Douglas was kept kind of quiet in the first half, but he helped out the team the best he could.
Wilson hit about 4 of those baseline shots, I think.
Here's Detlinger hitting one of his 3 throws to put him into double digits. And here you see that 1-2-1-1 full court press where Freilich
really quick
will end up getting the steal. And now you see him in transition. Jamie Wilson, nice behind the back pass.
That's a little bit of showtime, and Wilson loves to do that.
I think I said Jamie Wilson. I meant Jeff Wilson. And here you see the Beavers warming up.
This is
live action.
13 points. I'm interested to know what Van Haften said in the locker room. On one hand, you're up by 13 points against the conference opponents. That's not a bad thing, but I think there are some miscues that maybe can be corrected. Not really sharp. As we take a look at the halftime stats, we have the edge in rebounding. Turnovers, Dubuque having trouble with that. Our defense is really causing some problems. Foul situation about even. Ned. And field goals, you can see we're shooting a great percentage on field goals, just like close to 75%, which is phenomenal. And a lot of that has to do, that good shooting has to do with the fact that we're getting excellent shot opportunities. A lot of our shots are coming from the paint, and plus we're draining our 3-pointers, which is always nice.
Well, anytime that you get your shots from 15 feet within, and nobody's getting a hand in your face, and nobody's out on you, your chances of making the shot are going to go up by a great deal. And in a lot of sporting activities, it's like a game of percents, and anytime that you can increase your percent, which is what the Beavers are doing, I mean, it's going to help their chances to win the ball game. Just like Coach Barry was saying, the BV women, the reason why they played such great defense was because they got a hand in the other team's face, and they blocked them off on the boards and held them to 1 shot. And so, I mean, that's what the Beavers really have to focus on, is just playing fundamental basketball. And the other thing that you have to look at is, how much longer can Dubuque keep this up? The Beavers do have a 13-point lead, and I think Dubuque is really, they've come out and they've overachieved so far. So let's see, if the second half, the Beavers just might be able to put them away a little bit.
And that's the thing. The longer a team like Dubuque can stay in the ballgame, the more confidence they'll get. And the longer they hang around, the more dangerous it becomes for the Beavers. So, what I would look for in the first half, the first 5 minutes are really pivotal. If the Beavers can get off in the first 5 minutes, play a tough defense, and build on their lead, I think they should be okay for the rest of the second half.
And the Beavers are going to start off with the ball here in the second half. There's basketballs lying around everywhere.
And I believe it's the same starting 5 for the Beavers, with Freilich, Dentlinger, Wilson, Schmalbeck, and Bloomer.
A little bit of a different starting five for the Spartans, as they have Pentagon, Beanborn.
There's a turnover by Nick Dentlinger, threw that one away.
Casey Christner, who hasn't gotten a whole lot of playing time, he's going to start off the second half.
In fact, I don't think he was in the game at all in the first half.
I haven't seen him. Maybe he's going to provide a spark here for the Spartans in the second half.
There's Christner with it on the near baseline, inside to their center. Back inside to Woods. Woods not able to get the shot to fall, and
knocked out of bounds by Pentagon. Belonged to the Beavers. But a nice job by the Spartans of getting the ball inside, and that's good fundamental basketball. You want to pass it inside and get it right back out to the guards. That's one of the most high percentage shots, is the in and out game that they're playing right there.
This is Nick Dentlinger with it, and he goes, that's a risky pass. Bloom hits from baseline, and the good shooting picks up where it left off for BV in the first half. Aaron Bloom hits in the first shot, and BV extends to a 15-point advantage. Just underway in the second half.
Beavers sticking with that man-to-man defense. Spartans in a little bit of a passing game, it looks like. Kind of a 1-2-2 type of passing game. They got two posts that kind of X and X, and then there's some pick and rolls that are being set.
And Woods inside, working against Wilson, and the foul is going to be on Jamie Wilson.
I didn't see the foul, but he was probably in a better position than we are up here.
He looked straight up to me.
I guess it's over and done with.
Of course,
they're going to get that ball out of there. I don't know if you can see. There you see the ref. There was a practice ball that failed to get in the box. Just got the stats in from our sports information director, Paul Meisner. Does a super job of getting the stats out as soon as possible.
And the shooting percentage in the first half, not as good as we'd first had thought. 53%. Tailed off there toward the end, 16 of 30 from the field. League scorer.
Woods misses the front end of two shots. One of the things that the Spartans have been able to do, that was one of the keys of the game, is play great perimeter defense. They've been able to hold the Beavers to 14% three-point shooting on tonight. On the season, the Beavers shoot 34%. And so 20 points under their average.
Aaron Bloom wide open for three. He makes it. Aaron Bloom.
And wouldn't you know, just as I say that, Bloom knocks down a tray.
And that's 5 points in the early first half for Aaron Bloom.
That's one of the things about the Beavers, is that they have a pretty balanced offensive scoring. They have a different leading scorer about every other game.
And that's a big contrast compared to last year when you had Jason Evers inside and scoring over 20 points a game. That was your main offense. As we have a foul on Dubuque. It's the first team foul of the second half. Or excuse me, on BV. My bad.
That foul is going to be called on Aaron Bloom. That's his second personal, and that's the second team foul of the half for the Beavers. Dubuque leaving their rebounders down there this time. Maybe Grimm isn't as good of a free throw shooter as some of those other guys.
Aaron Bloom with the rebound, and slight pressure applied by Dubuque. Here's Freilich wide open for three. He'll take it. No good. Good board by Treat. There's a trap. He was close to getting a 5-second call, so Treat calls a timeout. That's a 20-second timeout.
And a nice job there by Treat. You also heard Coach Grayling Gordon. He was yelling from the sideline for a 20. They didn't want to really turn the ball over there. This is a really pivotal point in the game. 16-point lead for the Beavers. A couple more buckets and they can pretty well put it away. Unless, Dubuque would happen to go on a big run.
Barring something unforeseen.
Indeed, and so I think Coach Grayling Gordon wanted to prevent, a big run here in the second half. As you said, the first 5 minutes kind of sets the tone for the rest of the game, and the Beavers have come out,
Christner
showing that they're ready to play.
Casey Christner, who was inserted into the starting lineup after not playing in the first half, turns it over.
That's the 13th turnover in the game for the Spartans.
O.J. Freilich ahead to Aaron Bloom. And BV will
knocked out of bounds there by Beanborn. Dubuque staying in it with a really scrappy defense. They're going to stick with that man-to-man. Looks like they're trying to double team.
And Nick Detlinger draws a blocking foul on Grimm.
Detlinger got double teamed there, but was able to dribble through that double team and pick up the foul. Substitution coming in. We don't know who this guy is.
He's listed in the programs.
Not listed in the programs, and we didn't have him in the books either.
We only assume he is eligible. As you see, Jamie Wilson gets in the layup. That's a good inbounds play for BV. As we're up now by 18 points.
The thing about Dubuque there is when you're on the road and you're playing a pretty quality opponent in BV, you know, with a 2-0 record in the conference, you cannot allow easy buckets like that. You know, I think just about anybody's going to make, you know, that 2-foot bank off the glass right there. And if you can somehow prevent them from doing that, you know, then you've got a chance to win the ball game. But right now, Dubuque not getting it done.
As Woods gets the rebound after our mystery player.
There you saw Fred Moore with our own Stacy Mraz. We can only
Stacy's trying to
wonder what they were talking about. In fact,
Fred,
maybe we can send it down to Stacy and find out what they were talking about.
And we'll do that in a little bit, Ned. Right now we have a timeout on the floor.
It's gonna be
we have 16:40 to go in the second half. 43-25 Beavers.
Timeout called by Dubuque there. They've already called 2 timeouts left.
Yes.
And we haven't even gone 5 minutes in.
Well,
to the second half.
They need to get their stuff together, otherwise this ball game's going to be over, so they're not really saving them for anything. Reminder, today's broadcast of the BV Dubuque basketball doubleheader is sponsored by Silkscreen Inc. See the friendly people at Silkscreen Inc. for all of your screen printing needs. Today's broadcast is also sponsored by Subway. Subway offers 6 sandwiches choices that are 97% fat-free and under 350 calories. All of their sandwiches are made with freshly baked bread and fresh meats and vegetables. Subway custom makes their sandwiches to your satisfaction. Subway makes it your way right away.
In the first half, leading scorer was Nick Detlinger, who led the Beavers with 11 points. For the Spartans, Pettigrove had a couple threes and a couple field goals, so he ended up with 10 in the first half, and Grimm ended up with 8.
Feinborn with the ball, gets it away to Dubuque having trouble. David White with it now, gets it into their Pettigo. Pettigo makes his first shot since about midway through the first half.
Only a 2-pointer, foot was on the line.
And Detlinger got hammered, and he'll be on the line shooting 2.
And there you saw the secondary break run to perfection. Each player has a spot in which they're supposed to run. Both the baselines will be covered, and then the guard will be off on the right side most of the times. They'll bring it up to the right side of the court. And then the post will X on the inside. And there you saw Detlinger post his man up and draws the foul, go to the line to shoot a pair. Detlinger, a 63% shooter. And there he misses the first one. He's 1 for 2 from the line on the night. Now he's 1 for 3. Let's see if he can even it up.
Nick has potential to be an all-conference player this year and gets his own rebound. Great hustle by Detlinger.
We're going to reset the offense. Good job there by the Beavers.
Good presence of mind by Nick to go after his own shot. Schmalbeck looking for somebody in the corner. There's Freilich. Freilich's trying to drive. Going baseline left. Now back out to Bloom. Here's Schmalbeck inside to Wilson. Wilson turn around. No good. Feinborn rebounds, but we have a foul.
They're going to call it on number 12 on the spot. Or no.
Foul on.
They're going to call on Detlinger. Or Wilson? Detlinger, I think. It's going to be on Nick Detlinger. That's going to be his third personal. That's the third team foul of the half for the Beavers. I think they said that he tried to clear out on the rebound. And I did see a couple bodies go flying, so nice hands by Aaron Bloom.
Aaron Bloom so quick. Here's Jamie Wilson. He's going to wait for Schmalbeck. Aaron Bloom fakes the three, and nice block by Casey Grimm.
Grimm only 6
like block.
Grimm only at 6 foot, but he was able to time his jump and get up and block that shot.
Somebody missed an assignment. Aaron Bloom's wide open for three-point land. Can't make it. And Feinborn in a little bit of a trouble. 15-15 to go.
Defensive switch. They're in a 1-3-1 half-court trap now. There you see it pay dividends as they throw the ball away. Phil Freilich with
O.J. Freilich, we got a 3-on-3. Freilich takes it all the way, coast to coast.
With the runner. Almost like a layup, but a little too far out to be called a layup. What they're going to try to do is trap the wings here with the point guard.
There's Feinborn. He's wide open three and takes it. So back to a 15-point ball game. Dubuque still hanging around.
That's Feinborn's first three-point bucket of the evening. Almost a 3-second call there.
Coach Gordon was calling for it on the sidelines. Here's Aaron Bloom from three, no good. Foul on Jamie Wilson.
15-point lead here for the Beavers, though. You don't really feel like they have the momentum. It seems as though the momentum's kind of hanging in the balance. Beavers came out first 4 minutes or so and were on fire, but the Spartans called a couple timeouts, tried to settle things down, and now it looks like they're ready to mount a charge.
But Ned, you wonder if Dubuque is capable of mounting a charge. They haven't really done it since that first run when they were down 11-0. I don't know if they have the firepower. They haven't been able to sustain that type of run. We'll see.
Well, the thing about them is they can't afford to miss any shots or make any turnover. When you limit your possessions, and you're a smaller team, you're not going to get the rebounds. You're not going to win the game. That's all there is to it. As you just saw Coach Van Haften as his team with the 15-point lead and the ball.
And now Odie back into the game. It's Brad Douglas, as well as Matt Jansen. And Schmalbeck gets it taken away by Feinborn. And Schmally prevents the easy lay-in by fouling. It'll be the 6th team foul on BV.
Let's see if it's going to be a 2-shot foul. Feinborn on the evening, 2 for 2 from the line. So not the guy you probably want to send to the line. I think he was 80% on the season or something like that, too.
Actually, Mike Feinborn and Rich Pettigo form a pretty decent backcourt, Ned, a freshman and junior respectively. They just don't have the height to go with it.
And I think they also lack some real depth. I think if you look at 6, 7, 8 man, BV outmatches them.
40 for 3, no good.
13 points. Like I said, the Spartans are going to mount a charge here. Let's see if the 1-3-1 trapping defense can prevent that from happening. It has given them some fits. What Dubuque wants to do is get it to the baseline in the middle.
And there you see another
got it to the middle, but then threw it away.
Yeah, Maurice Wood's not really adept at handling the ball. We've seen all game long. He's had probably half a dozen turnovers as BV turns it over. The one thing I think is important for BV, even though they're struggling on the offensive end right now, they got to play good defense. And the 3 by Pettigo, no good. And the follow-up by Grimm is good. So
that's one of the disadvantages of the 1-3-1 is that you're not going to have a whole lot of rebounding support down there. Timeout on the floor. As the lead's cut to 11, we're going to send it down to Stacy Mraz and see what she had to say with Fred Moore. Stacy?
All right, Coach Van Haften was telling me earlier a couple of things he expects his players to do a little more of.
Who's on who?
All right, Coach Van Haften was telling me a little bit after halftime some of what he expects his players to be doing a little more of during the second half. He expects them to get out and run the floor a little more and then try to be a little more patient offensively. And Buena Vista is known as a patient team on their offense. So that was kind of a surprise to the coach that they were rushing their shots so much. They need to try to get their ball inside more, and then he was telling them when they need to make the extra pass, and instead of reading the ball, try to read the Dubuque players' eyes. So there's a couple of things to be looking for when Buena Vista's out here this second half. Back to you, Scott and Ed.
Okay, thanks a lot, Stacy Mraz, working the sidelines for us this evening. So Nate Bjorka checks into the game.
Spartans have kind of gained the momentum. Let's see if that timeout can help the Beavers reestablish.
Matt Jansen pulls up from 10, no good. Rebound by Denlinger, stripped of the ball and fouled by Woods.
I think it was on Dave White, actually. Reach-in foul. That's going to be Dave White's second personal foul, third team foul of the half.
So Denlinger will be on the line.
O.J. Freilich comes in for the Beavers as Aaron Bloom sits down. And number 24, Preston Treat, comes in as White will leave the game.
Attention, Buena Vista basketball fans. If you want to get the inside scoop on the Beavers, then be sure to watch Center Court. Center Court is a weekly half-hour coaches show that brings you all of the highlights and recaps of last week's games. Also, the coaches will interview a player from their squads and look ahead to next week's contests. You can hear Center Court on Mondays at 7, Wednesdays at 9, and Fridays at 8 on Innovation Video Cable Channel 3.
Spartans with the chance to cut it into single digits for the first time in a long time. A three-point bucket would do so. Beavers on top by 12. Kicking foul. And they're going to reset the shot clock. They'll get a fresh 35. Detlinger 1 of 2 from the line on that one. On the night, he is 2 of 6. So not great free throw shooting percentage for Detlinger. 63% free throw shooter on the season.
They have Grimm
Beavers go back to a man-to-man defense. The 1-3-1 trapping D didn't work too well.
Oh, looks like a chart. Denlinger forced to travel. Good defense by Denlinger. And
Pentagon sat on the bench for a little bit to get a little bit of a break. He's been playing a lot.
And O.J. Freilich, who's been guarding him, has really been shutting him down. Odie gets the ball underneath and is hammered by Grimm. O.J. has done a good job shutting down Petty Ghost and scored 10 points in the first 10 minutes of the first half and has scored only 1 or 2 baskets since then.
Brad Douglas, 14 for 22 from the free throw line on the year. So far tonight, 2 of 2. So he's shooting over 60% from the free throw line this year. Looking up the average. Bjorkgren comes in. Schmalley sits down. Jansen, Jeff Wilson, Freilich, Douglas, and Bjorkgren for the Beavers. Pentagon in for the Spartans. Beanbon, Treat, Grimm,
White, I think.
And White, yes.
Odie gets his own rebound. That's a bad job of blocking out for Dubuque as it scramble for the ball. And everybody's on the floor, and we're going to have a tie ball. Possession arrow points toward Dubuque.
In that case, I think that the referees, have to call that jump ball a little bit earlier or somebody's going to get hurt.
I think you're
With
right.
so many bodies on the floor, it's so easy to twist an ankle or step on somebody else's foot or something like that.
We have a timeout on the floor. Coach Van Haften wants to talk it over.
Let's see if it's going to be...
With 11:45.
It's going to be a full timeout.
It is. With 11:45 to go, BV's up by 13. We're going to toss it to a commercial. Stay tuned. You're watching Innovation Video Sports.
Wants your Sunday paper.
Okay, we're back at Stevens Fieldhouse. Scott Heinley and Jared Okander with you. And the Beavers up by 13. Just under 12 minutes to play in the game. And Ned, kind of an interesting game. Not really what we expected from the get-go.
Yeah, we kind of expected a high-scoring affair, maybe not quite as much defense being played by either team, a little more up and down the floor. What we've seen is a little more sloppy, a lot more defense being played than we probably anticipated. But both teams are going at it pretty hard, and we've got ourselves a ball game here, folks. 13 points only. 1-2-1-1 half full court press here applied by the Beavers.
And they get it to White. Probably not the guy you want handling the ball out in the open floor.
They're going to reset the offense, though. Basically, they just want to get it across the timeline before the 10-second violation.
Which they do have in the men's game as opposed to not having it in the women's game, as you mentioned earlier, Ned. And dish out the ball to Treat for three, and he gets knocked down. There's a travel, and Dubuque, it seems like every time Dubuque has a chance to make a run, they come up with some turnover, which really kills them. Right now, they're their own Achilles heel.
And the thing that happened there, the reason why he airballed the shot was the pass. It was a terrible pass, and he had to reset himself.
Odie for three, no, but he's going to get fouled, and he should have 3 free throws coming. That's
three Dubuque players are on the floor. They're all getting up pretty slowly. It's been a pretty physical game, and I think that all the time that the Beavers spend in the weight room is paying off. And in Iowa Conference, it really does get physical. If you've been a player, if you've been a fan of the Iowa Conference, it's definitely a really physical style of basketball, up and down the floor, grind it out type of basketball, and you've got to spend time in the weight room in order to make it through the season. Not only as far as to make it through injury free, but also to go out there and compete hard. At every loose ball and things of that nature.
Oh, most definitely, Ned. You see Brad Douglas, who made the first free throw, the senior from Glidden, Iowa, has contributed a lot to this program. Last year it came down with pneumonia, right, when he was starting to break into the rotation for Coach Tim. And I know that slowed his progress. He was disappointed about that, but this year Odie is healthy and playing well. As you mentioned, he had 5 3-pointers this week in the last game against Wartburg in the victory. And the second free throw on the way, no good. And O.J. Freilich, I believe, pushed off.
I think we're going to have it on number 44. It's going to be on number 44, Jeff Wilson.
Jeff Wilson getting substantial playing time. Last year was not out for the basketball team.
Tipped out of bounds. Woods unable to hang on to it. Okay, now they finally register Wilson's foul. That's his 3rd personal, and that's the 6th. Turnaround jumper, Odie.
Odie was looking for the foul. He turned around and said, "What's this? I got hammered. Come on, give me the call."
I think he got hit with the body, and I think that's why we didn't really see it as being a foul. Here you see him setting double picks for Petticord. He's unable to get open. Nice job by Douglas of defending. Make him go baseline. He dribbles off his knee.
Good defense by O.J. Freilich.
I thought when the ref said that he hit it off, they saw the ref say hit it off his knee, and then he pointed towards the Dubuque side of the ball.
So it's Dubuque's ball underneath the basket. 10:39 to go in the game, and Bjorken commits the foul. Almost came up with a turnover though. Heads up play.
Nothing really wrong with that. I mean, Coach Van Haften,
that's an aggressive play.
It's a hustle play where the ball's up in the air. He's going after it. Unfortunately, though, that's going to send Beanborn to the free throw line.
He hasn't missed there yet tonight, I don't believe.
I think he did miss one. He's 3 of 4, I think. Maybe not. But I thought I had cursed him on the last one. There he swishes that one through.
Checking into the ball game, Casey Christner, a freshman.
He started the second half, but we really haven't seen him a whole lot since those first couple of minutes. So apparently he didn't give Coach Gordon what he had anticipated.
And also into the game, our mystery player, number 44, who checks in for White. Checks in for Woods.
He looks like he's pretty old.
Yeah.
Here we see a run and jump type of press that the Buena Vista women were running. Beavers easily crack it. 25 is the shot clock.
Freilich wide open for the shot, no good. Scramble for the rebound. It's getting pretty physical in there. Odie gets the foul, and Odie kind of disappointed he couldn't get that one to fall in as well.
Yeah, he wanted a three-point play. Couldn't quite get it.
Right now there's a lot of pushing and there's a lot of stuff going on underneath.
One of the things that Coach Van Hasten has to be proud of is how Brad Douglas will do the little things, the things that don't get a lot of glamour. You know, first of all, he's shutting down Pentagon on one side. If you saw, he set a great pick to get O.J. Freilich open, and right there he went after the loose ball on the free throw and got after it and put it right back up and drew the foul. And you know, not a lot of players these days want the glory rather than, you know, to work behind the scenes at the stuff that people don't really see a whole lot of.
So Odie makes both free throws, and both teams are in the bonus from here on out. So with 10 minutes to go, both teams will be shooting the 1-and-1. And the ball goes over to Petticourt, and he hits the three-pointer. Petticourt, his first three since the first half. And Dubuque is within 12 now. And OJ gets trapped, gets it back to Bjorken. Bjorken sets up the play.
Now the Spartans going into, they're still man-to-man, but it's kind of a run-and-jump, half-court type of thing. Ball goes off the hands of Freilich. Spartans ball.
Yep, another turnover.
It's not over yet. Just under 10 to play in regulation. And Beavers only up by 12.
And BB not looking real sharp. It's hard to believe they're going to have to play a lot sharper when Upper Iowa rolls into town tomorrow night. Be sure to watch or either come to the Fieldhouse or watch that game. Preferably come to the Fieldhouse and support the Beavers, but that should be a good one tomorrow night.
I tell you, Maurice Woods is having a tough time of hanging onto the ball. That one just went off his fingertips.
He's had a dozen turnovers, I bet you, this game.
He's had a lot of turnovers, travels, and just losing the ball. Jansen comes out of the game as Jamie Wilson will come back in. Beavers average 73 points a game, and I don't think they're going to reach that tonight.
Another turnover. That wasn't a real good pass by Jamie Wilson.
Chance to cut it to single digits once again. With a three-point bucket, Beavers will only be a 9-point game. There, Douglas got screened from downtown.
And that was a little bit out of his range. The freshman took the shot a little bit out of his range, but BB with the rebound.
Also, he's being forced to rush his shot a little bit since he's being blanketed so much by Douglas.
Odie for three, no good. And here's Petticourt. He's on doesn't really have the numbers. Nice strip by Bjorken. Good job defensively by Bjorken, Ned.
Good hustle, and Borgren's doing his job, you know, as the point guard.
When it appeared that Petticourt had the easy layup, BB, great transition defense, getting back, hustling to get back and getting the turnover.
Well, it looked like he pretty much had the full court in front of him, and Borgren was able to hustle down the court and, you know, prevent the easy 2 points. Borgren's going to be rewarded by going to the free throw line. He's going to be shooting a 1-and-1. One of the things there that he could have done is when he heard the whistle blown, he could have thrown it up towards the rim rather than trying to pass it. And instead he passed and misses the free throw.
Beanborn
only a 43% free throw shooter on the year. He hasn't had a lot of opportunities. That was only his 8th free throw this year.
Beanborn drives left, draws the foul, and I believe we'll wait and see what's on here.
We're going to have a new player coming in for Dubuque. This is the first time we've seen him. It's going to be number 0, Paul Kunkel. He's a 6-foot junior, all the way from Texas. I'm sure he really enjoys these warm temperatures we've been having up here in Iowa.
And look who's at the line again. It's Beanborn, who is an excellent free throw shooter. First one's on the way, and nothing but net.
It's an 11-point game now. He has a chance to cut it to 10, which would be the smallest it's been in the entire second half. It is a 10-point game.
And there's
going to
pressure.
apply a 1-2-1-1 full court press.
Is that trap? BB's they get her before 10 seconds. Okay, we'll set the lineup story for BB. They've had some substitutions. It's Bloom, Schmalbeck, and here's Freilich for the three. Just short. Jamie Wilson with the tip in, no good, and
Jeff Wilson goes over the back. And I think that might be his 4th foul, actually.
Yeah, Jeff Wilson's had some foul troubles tonight. And for Dubuque, Beinborn is 8 for 8 from the free throw line tonight.
He is perfect, huh?
Yes, he is. So
maybe we can curse him yet. I said that he had missed. Woods will go to the line. So far tonight, he has shot 1 from the free throw line, 0 for 1. Nice rotation there on his shot. He's the tallest man on the roster at 6'4". He's a senior from Rock Island, Illinois, just on the other side of the river. That one short.
Wilson with the rebound. Good board by Wilson.
Jamie Wilson. Make sure we're specific now that we have both of them in there. No relation.
And both are seniors, although Jamie Wilson has 2 years of eligibility left. And Freilich to Bloom. Bloom with the shot, and Darren Bloom makes it. For Bloomer, that's 7 points in the second half.
And that's what Coach Van Haften was talking about, that extra pass there. There were a couple shots that the Beavers gave up, and then they ended up with an easy, 12-foot jumper.
Nice baseline drive, no good. Preston Treat.
Foul's going to be called on Aaron Bloom.
And Treat does a nice job at drawing the foul.
That'll send Treat to the free throw line. Beavers up 53-42, 11-point lead.
Dentlinger checks in for Jeff Wilson. And Coach Van Haften talking to Wilson. Tune in to Innovation Cinema every night on Cable Channel 13 from 7 to 11 for great movies ranging from your favorite classics to great new releases. Movies showing in the month of January include Twister, Tin Cup, 12 Monkeys, Up Close and Personal, The Nutty Professor, The American President, Muppets Treasure Island, Citizen Kane, The Rock, Candyman, Silence of the Lambs, and Mr. Holland's Opus.
He hammers down both free throws. Lead at 9. So the lead is now down to single digits. Turnover. Freilich loses it.
And count the basket and the foul.
Coach Van Haften's got to get a TO here.
You bet. Preston Treat.
We're going to send it down to Stacy Mraz right now in the heat of the action. She's got President Fred Moore with her. Stacy, what do you have for us?
All right, I managed to grab an interview with one of Buena Vista's most avid sports fans, President Fred Moore. President Moore, now we were talking earlier, and I noticed you had a lot to say about Buena Vista's basketball program. Why don't you tell the viewers that?
Well, we're really excited this year about Coach Berry and Coach Van Haften. They're doing a great job. We've really built a solid winning tradition in the women's program now, and we're off to a fantastic start with the men's program. So it's a really exciting time. A lot of energy is surrounding both teams. They're exciting to watch.
All right, as your second year here, what would you have to say about maybe last year's season compared to this year's season?
Well, we're continuing to build the winning tradition in the women's program, and gosh, what a great start. Of course, Coach Tim did a nice job for us, and we played very hard last year, but you don't necessarily expect with a brand new coach that you're going to have a start quite like this one. So it's been a very pleasant surprise, and Coach Van Haften is just giving great leadership to our team, and I can tell the guys are really inspired and very motivated and play hard. So it's fun to watch them.
And I'm sure it's not too bad for Coach Van Haften to get a little word from you right before the game either.
Well, he doesn't. He certainly doesn't need any advice from me. He knows the game very, very well, and I just went over to shake his hand and tell him again how pleased we are with the start. And lots of people on campus have told him that. He's a very popular person on campus with lots of people, and we're all very happy for him.
All right, and we're very happy to have you here. You can catch President Moore at pretty much any sporting event at home, and his family, but his family really didn't want to be seen on camera tonight, so they shied a little away from that. Back to you, Scott and Ed.
Okay, thanks a lot, Stacy Mraz, as Preston Treat completes the conventional three-point play. And
6-point game, just like we've been saying the entire time here. Dubuque hanging in there, and the longer that
this is as close as they've been, Ned, since in the early first half.
The longer a team can stay in there and maintain their confidence level, the better chance they have of winning. And right now the Spartans are right there, hanging in the balance. 7.5 minutes left to play, plenty of time to trim that 6-point lead down. They've done it a little bit at a time. That foul was called on our newcomer, Paul Hinkle. Dellinger hits
and also
the front end of a 1-and-1.
One thing to be concerned about, Dubuque is now in the double bonus, which is key because of this stat right here. Dubuque is 11 of 14 from the free throw line in the second half and 16 of 20 for the game. So they don't miss when they go to the free throw line. So it's one thing BV's going to have to be concerned about here in the last 7:22 in regulation.
Certainly. It's not necessarily the foul trouble that the Beavers have got to worry about. It's more the fouls that they're giving up, because that's it is a free throw. It's a free shot that they're having. Dubuque was in the lane there. Dellinger's going to get another shot at it.
So that's could turn out to be a costly error for Dubuque, as Dellinger makes it an 8-point ball game. 55-47.
There you saw the Beavers lay off. They usually, after free throws, are in the 1-2-1-1 full court. There they sagged off and just got into their half-court man-to-man defense.
And it could have been they're going to call charge. Brian Schmalbeck draws the charge.
I think Beanborn was just frustrated there that Schmalbeck was kind of, playing stick-'em defense, and finally he just elbowed him and shoved him away from the ball to prevent Schmalbeck from getting the steal.
Jamie Wilson having trouble finding somebody to inbounds. He's going to call timeout. Heads up play by Wilson.
Probably get a 20.
It's a 20.
Yeah,
You're
a 20.
Right. As we should probably take a look at the timeout situation. Dubuque has one timeout remaining, and I think BV still has 3 of theirs remaining.
I think they have a couple. I think they have 1 20-second and 2 full timeouts.
So BV's got.
That's unofficial, of course, but we're doing the best we can with our limited resources here.
The next foul that Dubuque makes, BV will be in the double bonus, so something to take note of. And a reminder that tonight's broadcast is copyrighted by Innovation Video and Buena Vista University. Any rebroadcast without the express written consent of BVU and Innovation Video is strictly prohibited. And Schmalley out the top of the key. Douglas outside to Bloom for the jump shot, no good. Nick, nice offensive board, puts it back in off the glass.
Dellinger's got such long arms that he was just right there, able to keep the ball alive and tip it around until he could get a handle on it. And once he finally got a handle on it, it was an easy putback. Maybe the Beavers have calmed the storm, up the lead back to 10.
Beinborn with the drive. Nice drive by Beinborn.
Schmalbeck played some lazy defense there. He let his man beat him and then went for the cheap steal. And more often than not, you're not going to get that, or you're just going to pick up a foul.
BV just about had the 10-second count there as Dubuque put on the good press. Here's Matt Jansen at the top of the key. Inside to Bloom.
And that was one of the keys that we talked about, is Dubuque forcing the Beaver front court into some turnovers, and they've done that so far. And they played great perimeter defense. You can't take anything away from the Spartans. I mean, certainly our keys to victory have
Wilson
proven.
Inside to Jansen. The shot clock had expired just as Jansen got that shot away. And it's
Jamie Wilson
going to be Dubuque's ball.
Jamie Wilson thought he got fouled there. He had the ball knocked away, it looked like. To be honest, it looked like it just fell out of his hands, actually. And so I don't know if he's frustrated at the refs or more himself. It looked like he was gave a dirty look to the referees, though. 8-point lead.
Ryan Pettigo checks into the game after he took a breather. Now he's in for the stretch run. Beinborn is with the ball. We got some pushing going on underneath, and they're going to call Matt Jansen.
Yeah, Matt Jansen and Maurice Woods are really going at it there on the inside. Maurice Woods is kind of throwing some elbows, and Matt Jansen took offense that time and decided to retaliate with a few.
Well, Jansen's given up a few pounds, but Jansen's really tough underneath. So Woods, not too good of a shooter from the free throw line, I don't think.
No, so far tonight, he's 2 for 3 so far from the line, or 1 for 3 so far from the line tonight. He was 1 for 2 last time he went up there.
So he's got 2 of their 4 misses from the line, and that one's way short.
That's the second time that he's missed short. Most of the times that he does miss, he just misses short because he really doesn't have too bad of a looking shot there. I mean, pretty good release rotation.
Second one on the way. This time rolls in for him. So that makes it a 7-point ball game. 5:36 to go in regulation. Aaron Bloom trying to get away from the trap. Here's Schmalbeck.
3-2, and just got it over.
That's the second time in a row. BV's almost had a 10-second count. Give credit to Dubuque defense. Schmalley trying to get rid of it. Here's Dentlinger on this side, and call the foul.
Those Dubuque guards are really getting after it here. You know, it looks like Braylon Gordon really got after him and challenged him to step it up a little bit, especially on the defensive end. You know, the full court pressure is kind of getting to the Beavers. They're a little bit befuddled, it looks like, as Pentagon comes back in the game. Christner sits Dentlinger back to the line. He's been to the line a few times tonight.
This will be in the double bonus now since both teams have 2 fouls. And Nick on that on the first shot, extending the lead to 8 points.
This can be really crucial for the Beavers to concentrate and hit their free throws here, you know, for this stretch run.
This one no good, and rebound pulled down by Grime. And turnover. Preston Treat couldn't hang on to the pass.
You know, if you're a Spartan fan, you really have to feel for them there because they did everything right. They just, lost their concentration and lost the handle on the ball. Nice box out there by Casey Grimm, though.
Inbounds pass goes into Nick Dentlinger. 5:05 remaining. Schmalley is fouled by Grimm.
Good job with Schmalbach by keeping the ball low to the ground and his body low to the ground. When you do that, it makes you more quick laterally, not so much up and down the court. And there you saw that Preston Treat went for the steal and was unable to get it. Instead, picks up a foul. That's his third. And as you've mentioned, Scott, Beavers will be shooting 2 anytime they go to the line from now on.
And Brian Schmalbach is shooting 86% from the line in conference play this season. Makes the first shot.
On the season, he's only 63%, but he's 11 of 17 now, so we haven't gotten a whole lot of opportunities.
And makes good on both shots. So it's a 10-point lead.
Double digits again.
So let's see what Dubuque's got. This is
5 minutes left.
I think this is another critical possession for Dubuque here. We want to stay within single digits, I think. Here's Petticourt out to Beinborn. They'll work it around on the far baseline. Inside to Woods. Woods back out to Pettigo. Pettigo is blocked by Nick Dentlinger.
I think that's 5.
And Coach Gordon on the sidelines irate that was not called a foul. And I think
some of the BV players were also irate that a travel wasn't called on that pump fake. They thought that his feet had left the ground. Nothing called. So
Woods looking for somebody to inbounds to, gets it into Treat. Working around the offense. There's Beinborn wide open for 3, just short, and Jamie Wilson gets a rebound as he falls out of bounds. Here comes BV, working up tempo. They'll give him that shot. Jamie Wilson from 16. And we have a player on the floor for Dubuque. I'm not sure what for, but
yeah, I think he was. Well, I think it was a couple of things. First, he was frustrated. He got pushed by Aaron Bloom, it looked like, and he decided just to take a break and sit down and think things through for a little bit until the ref blew the whistle.
As you see Coach Gordon on the sidelines pacing around.
12-point lead for the Beavers. Good defense by Schmalbach, just playing straight up.
Beinborn inside to Woods.
Nice
He's double team. Nice pass into number 25. That's Grimm. Nat Jansen back into the game. Joe Jansen just about walked with it. He's got to get rid of it. And try not to
break there by Woods. I mean, I thought he had the ball, stripped it from Matt Jansen's hands. Apparently, he must have got a little skin with that. So Matt Jansen will go to the free throw line to shoot a pair. That foul is going to be on Maurice Woods, his second.
So BV goes back to the line where they're 10 of 16 in the second half.
Really, for the number of people that we've got here, it's been a pretty quiet evening. Not a whole lot to get excited about. It's kind of been a little bit of a sloppy play by both teams. Jansen hits the first of 2.
Plus the fact that Dubuque maybe not a conference power such as your Simpsons or He goes up by 12 with those two.
Jansen shooting 77% on the season from the line. So you wouldn't expect a big man, the lefty.
So one-man press by Schmalley.
Free throw percent.
And there's Petticoat, nice pass inside. Petticoat, far baseline, and bad pass. Bloom intercepts it, and we'll go the other way.
And the freshman's really frustrated. I mean, he hasn't been given a real good open shot yet. And every time he touches the ball, he's getting double and triple teamed sometimes.
Dentlinger from three. He gets it. That's, I think, 3 3-pointers from Nick though so far.
And that kind of puts the nail in the coffin there for the Spartans. I mean, you go down and
3 minutes
you're only down by.
There's a foul on Schmalley. Not a real good foul. You don't want to put Feinborn on the line. He's 8 for 8 so far tonight. That's not what we wanted there. But I want to go back when you're talking about Ryan Pettigo, only a freshman. He's saying he had to be frustrated. It's maybe a case of welcome to the Iowa Conference, Ryan Pettigo, because I'm sure he has not seen this defense so far.
You know, and it's got to be frustrating as a team. You know, they went down. They were only down by 12 points, and then they had the turnover, and then Detlinger, nails the tray. Beanborn finally misses a free throw.
Yeah, he's 8 for 9.
He is human.
Second one's good.
Still 90% isn't too bad from the line.
I'd take that. I think he could maybe go down to Ames and help out the Cyclones free throw shooting.
Who cares? That's the third time they've done that. They just kind of throw a jump ball up to Detlinger, and he's able to out-jump everybody for the ball.
Detlinger's trapped, and he is fouled by Feinborn.
He's getting harassed pretty good out there, and I think he's a little bit frustrated at the shoving that's going on. Brian Fisher going to come back into the game for the Beavers. 2:52 left to play in regulation. Overtime not really expected. 14-point lead for the Beavers, which isn't quite probably what we expected against the defeated Duhawks. Have not yet won a game this year.
A reminder, stay tuned for a quick post-game show. We'll try to get an interview with Coach Van Haften, as well as highlights of tonight's games. And also, we'll be giving away our Player of the Game and Off the Bench awards for the men's game. In the women's game,
with 1 and 2. And I think what you see is you see Gordon. Gordon is kind of shuffling in number 21, Casey Christner, and his star player, number 5, the freshman Ryan Pettigon. I think he kind of wanted to call a timeout and get Pettigon back in there and settle him down and tell him that he could probably, he's going to get some shots off. Be patient. Nice move by Woods.
Oh, he's Ryan Fisher just.
Foul is going to be called on Fisher with the body, and Fisher's got a lot of body to give away. Weights aren't written on the program, but Fisher, a big man, you can imagine he's probably 220, 230 easily. And not the kind of guy who's going to give up any space on the inside, as Woods found out. This one long. Beavers up by 15. And here you see Gordon shuffling in and out Pettigon and Christner, as Christner is going to come in and Pettigon's going to sit. Christner going to play defense, and hopefully Pettigon will come back in on offense.
Odie skies for the rebound.
It kind of hurts when you're trying to mount a comeback when you get sent to the free throw line, the clock is stopped, and then you miss both the free throws. Ooh, dangerous pass by Douglas.
BB trying to work some time off the shot clock here. Odie driving baseline, and Odie takes it to the rack, but he is called.
I think
draws a foul.
Too. Yeah.
Isn't sure of the call there. The ref's not real.
Call's gonna be.
The refs aren't real forceful with their calls. I swear he gave the charge call, but
foul's gonna be against Maurice Woods, his third. Douglas will go to the line. I think he's in double digits by now. As Coach Van Haften is gonna clear the benches. Landon Roth coming in, the freshman. Also coming in
Craig
underneath.
Brightwell, who's another freshman.
Getting the youth some experience. Here we see Pettigon Pentagon coming back in, Christner sitting. Douglas tries to complete the three-point play to put the Beavers up by 18, possibly. Gets the job done. He's done a good job of shooting the ball from the line this evening.
I saw we were setting up for the game this afternoon around 3 o'clock, and Schmalbeck and Douglas are both out on the court taking shooting practice, so they do work at the game. Woods inside, throws up the shot, and again fouled by Fisher.
Nice job of acting there.
I don't think we want to foul right now. I think we want to keep the clock running. I'm not sure what that's all about.
Well, I think that he was just contesting the shot, and Reese Woods doesn't have a whole lot of body. And when you get shoved around by Ryan Fisher, the big man underneath, it's going to be exaggerated probably a little bit. And Woods must be a Darnell Autry in the making, an actor at Dubuque, because I didn't really see him get pushed too much, but it sure seemed as though he got shoved pretty hard. Makes them both this time, after missing both last time.
16-point game. Bjorken gets it to Odie. Odie's got a wide open. He'll take it to the hole and be fouled once again. 2 minutes to go, and Dubuque's going to have Coach Gordon wants to talk over with his players.
They've got 2 shots to take, so he figures, he's got some time to talk to him.
I think he's talking maybe about transition defense. Well, the last couple times on the floor, Odie's had a wide open lane to the basket.
He's gonna leave him back here for the first shot. Kind of interesting strategy, but nothing wrong with that. He needed to talk to him and get some things cleared up. And now for the second shot, they'll come in, since there wasn't going to be any rebound available in the first one, so why even bother?
Actually, I think the ref held him back.
And the reason he held him back is because Douglas had the ball, and it would have been a technical foul if they had crossed over past the three-point range.
And
Pentagon going to come back in. Christner will sit. Gordon's been doing that.
It's a situation substitution. I guess he feels that Christner's
now Christner's going to come back in for defense as soon as there's a dead ball.
Nice drive by Beanborn. That's the second time we've seen him take it to the rack. I'm kind of wondering why he didn't do that in the first half, but he has been played really well by the tandem of Schmalbeck and Bjorken.
Minute 50 left to play there. You saw that on the screen. Tomorrow night, the Beavers will again play host, this time to Upper Iowa University. Winners a game with a 9-2 record. In conference play, Upper Iowa knocked off Central 85-66 and Luther 75-64. So they're currently tied for BV with the conference lead after the first week of action. So big game tomorrow for the Beavers, and we'll see, just how for real the Beavers are and how for real Upper Iowa is.
That's right. You might want to bring your brooms to Siebens Fieldhouse, because it could be a sweep this weekend for the Beavers. If this score holds up, both the men's and women's teams winning tonight, and a good chance of doing the same tomorrow night, although that men's game is going to be... I'm looking forward to that men's game. Hopefully Upper Iowa can beat Simpson tonight. Both teams come in undefeated, and that's for the conference lead, as you mentioned, Ned.
And the Beaver women will also be taking on Upper Iowa at 6, so tune into that one. Upper Iowa women with a 4-6 record, 0-2 in the conference. They lost to Central and Luther. And so they're in the cellar of the conference at the moment, while the BV women are atop. Nice job by Douglas of coming to the ball.
Now this is Landon Roth, number 3 at the ball, gets it to Bjorken, who is trapped, and he's got to get rid of it. Fisher gets it to Roth, to Brightwell. Brightwell gets up, almost dunked it.
I think everybody on the bench is pretty disappointed that he didn't get up and throw it down with authority. He just laid it up.
And Preston Treat tries to throw it up. No good, but he gets fouled.
Pretty nice play. He got a knee kind of to the thigh. And that, you'll probably remember that one in the morning. It's never too fun. Is that going to be called on Fisher again?
You can see, get a chance to look at Craig Brightwell. I was kind of laughing about that one. Maybe disappointed he didn't put that one down two-handed.
Let's see. That foul's going to be called on Landon Roth, his first. No, that's going to be called on Brian Fisher, his third. It was on Fisher. So he's come in.
Fisher's got a good...
Giving the Beavers a few fouls. And
I guess you got 5, you might as well use them all. Isn't that the mentality?
I guess, if you got to get in the books, that's one way to do it. Beavers on top by 17. This one in the books, minute 23 left to play.
Brightwell looks to inbounds, can't find anyone, and he gets a call for 5 seconds. No, now we're going to get a foul.
Holding foul, that's going to be called.
That was
the Spartans, number 25, Casey Grimm.
Oh, and that was a dumb foul by Casey Grimm because that was a 5-second call. That was.
Well, I think what happened is that Douglas, he forgot that he was coming to the ball, and when he came to the ball, he didn't quite have his feet set. And so it was kind of like in football when there's a touchdown pass. He could have either let Douglas get the ball or hold him, and he tried to hold on to his jersey, and he kind of was getting dragged along there and fell down. And that's when the referee noticed that something wasn't quite right, and Douglas would go to the line to shoot a pair. Douglas has to be in double digits by now.
He's making his money from the line, no doubt about it. As we're going to get another player checking into the game. This is going to be Tom Harskamp, another freshman from Sioux Center, Iowa. And also number 31,
Brad Nelson coming in.
The sophomore from Blooming Prairie, Minnesota.
And finally, Matt Nelson as well coming in.
Oh, number 21 goes right in, undefended. Here's Brightwell. Uh-oh, he could have a breakaway. Put it. He traveled with it.
The whole crowd was anticipating a dunk there, as were we.
He just couldn't get the handle on it. But Brightwell's got some ups.
Need to get some rosin out there. Get him some rosin.
They list him as 6'6".
Pentagon finally with an open-looking three-pointer, and we see what he can do with the ball.
It's right, but you got to give credit to Schmalbeck. Give credit to Schmalbeck and Bjorken for shutting Pettico down in the second half. Because and there's Brineborn for 3. He hits it, so it's going to look a little bit closer in the paper tomorrow than it actually was.
13 points right now.
Uh-oh. This is...
he can't quite get the handle either.
Matt Nelson.
Nice put back by Brad Nelson.
Brad Nelson hits it.
No relation with those two. And the steal by Brad Nelson. Brad Nelson works harder than anybody probably in the weight room.
You're right, Ned.
He just doesn't quite get enough playing time for the Beavers, but a hard worker, and he's coming off the bench right now, gets a steal, and